Hi guys, welcome back to another video from Daniel and John, and we've got a integrated Hotpoint dishwasher. It's that one. The problem with it is we've gone to use it and it won't fill up with water. Now, if you've got the same, hopefully you've got the same problem. It isn't a fault with the machine. The problem with it is because it's integrated and the way it's been installed. You can see on top of the worktop, the screws come loose. See? It's just the screws aren't big enough. So what happens is when you go to shut it, the switch here, that bit there doesn't go into the switch properly, and it doesn't engage, and it basically won't turn on. There are some other things you can check if it isn't this, and I'll just quickly run you through them. So the very most basic one is the fuse in the plug. If you're not getting any lights on the front, replace the fuse. The second one you can check is the waste filter. We always keep that clean so we know it's not that. So once you've got power, you need it to fill up with water, don't you? So then we check under the sink basically.
Just check that nobody's accidentally knocked the supply off the water supply to it.
So yeah, as John says, make sure the cold water supply is getting water to the back of the machine.
Additionally, just run your tap where the waste is and make sure everything's flowing.
Yep. And you can also check the waste coming from the dishwasher to make sure it's not full up with...
Give it a squeeze or take it off there and just check it's clear, yeah?
So if you've got all that sorted out and it's still not coming on, it's still not filling up with water, I should say, sorry. Next thing is to do is pull the machine out and check the back of it with... Check the back where the cold water connects on the back of the solenoid. It's like a little mesh filter. If you're in a hard water area, it might be full up. But have you got anything else to add on that? Because you might come across this video and it might not be that switch, it might be other things.
The moral in this story, just two things I just need to clarify. So an integrated dishwasher or wash machine is normally one with a door on the front, looks like your kitchen cupboards. A freestanding one is
like the Mealy.
You just get it and you push it in.
Yeah.
So the moral of the story, if I'm honest, is if you're fitting integrated machines, make sure they're fitting correctly, because you can see what's happened. We're trying to push the door to and it's moving, it's just simply not engaging.
Yeah, so as we said earlier when we first started the video, there's so much play in this. When you're trying to shut it, you're sort of pushing against it.
And the other thing is, you'll find on these machines, sometimes there's some self-leveling legs, sometimes there isn't, sometimes they just slot in, just make sure they're right. But the moral of the story is, fit it well and don't bodge it. If you're struggling to get it to stay level, you can see that's just so far off the ground anyway. Look at that there.
So what we'll probably do with this is one of us will hold it and one of us will screw it in to where it needs to be.
Yeah, so, and then we'll come back, and at the moment it's not working. We'll come back and I'm fairly sure that's a problem, because that needs to engage, as Daniel said, with that. What we have done in there as well is we've got some electrical contact cleaner.
And that's the switch there. Yeah.
And literally just giving it a bit there just to loosen everything up, because
you can use a bit of silicone spray.
Yeah.
As well, just on the seal.
Yeah.
Just give the seal a clean with a bit of hot soapy water, just a bit of maintenance. You can use a bit of silicone spray on bits as well.
Difference with this one.
It doesn't have to be this brand, but it's a good brand.
The difference with this one is it's food grade, so you go near some sort of food appliance, so you don't want silicone going on your cups and that. That's what I would say. No. For maintenance, you want a food safe one. This is that.
Yeah, it's just what we had, but it doubles up as a good one as well. So
right, so we'll come back to you hopefully when we've sorted the problem out and the machine's turning on and working. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay guys, welcome back. I'm just going to show you really a bit more about this problem. So you see there's quite a gap there, you can see it there, and there's no way that ever is. He's got two little screws trying to pull the whole weight of this unit up, so what's come loose. The other thing that's been spotted is there should be a screw in there, but there should be a bit of a blanking plate there.
Yeah.
what do I mean by that? Something like that slid in the middle. That is from the bottom.
Just to tell you, we didn't fit this kitchen. We didn't fit the appliances ourselves. We didn't do any of that. We just live in this house.
So it's not been put in, and we need to. And if you remember the last video, I was talking about adjustable legs. So let's have a look at them.
So underneath the front, there's obviously them adjustable legs.
So you'd always get a bit of board like this that somebody's
Kickboard,
fitted
yeah.
there, and you do need quite a big spanner. It's about 25 mil, I think.
Yeah, so we do have a spanner set here, but unfortunately it's not
Big.
not
And
going to
these
work.
legs, when you're fitting this, I've got these adjustable plastic legs here. You can see them.
Yeah. So our plan here is basically to wind these legs out, bring it up higher, then put the screws in. So if you've got an integrated unit like this and the screws have come loose, hopefully this is helpful to you in trying to fix it as well. We're trying to include a bit more in the video.
Basically, this just hasn't been fitted right, so you're left with a situation where
It does look
you
like
can't
it's
even get to
bringing
the
it up.
flooring.
Yeah, so the flooring's not being fitted that well, to be honest.
So this is my job to get to this.
So what we're going to do here is we're going to wind these out,
So let's have a,
get that higher. He's getting there.
oh, big improvement. So another twist.
So that means when we do put new screws in and tighten them right up with the drill driver,
I'm trying to think.
they're not going
Basically,
to come loose.
these screws are for just positioning and retaining it. They're not
Yeah.
to support the weight of the appliance.
Yeah.
And,
We'll probably try and put something in the side there as well to stop it moving. So when you're closing it, it doesn't move back as well.
Just a little tip with these, that you know when you've got it tight, because there is a resistance with the spanner. You'll feel
Yeah,
it.
obviously that's plastic, so you do have to be a little bit careful how much pressure you put on it, and if it's old as well.
So if you have got this problem, you need an adjustable spanner, basically.
Yeah.
If you haven't got one, get one for your tool kicks, would be ideal. Right, so if we are now back where we should be, well, before it's moving all over the place, that's pretty good. If you've got that, and those things are level there,
Yeah.
just put a bit of light on there so you can see. So there,
Yeah, it's a lot
and
better,
there.
isn't it?
That's where we want to be, really. I think what we'll do, we'll swap the screws out,
Yeah, we're trying to put
some
it
a little bit bigger,
a bit better in there.
yeah, because they're wrecked, and then we'll go from there. We'll see if we can get a bit of a board in there to stop any movement as well. Because remember, these things do move around with the water pressure.
Yeah,
and
because
that.
obviously if you've been closing it as well every day, a couple of times a day,
So,
it's,
I guess the good news is, and we will come back when we've turned it on, but before we come back, good news is that sometimes if your machine's not working, it could just be down to poor original fitting, or one of the legs has come loose underneath and dropped, and that's
yeah,
causing.
it's nothing that's failed. It's
Yeah,
just the
so-
way it's been fitted and the way a switch is engaging.
So sometimes it's not the obvious. So just check how it's been fitted if it's an integrated one, yeah. But I guess even a freestanding one, if it's moving around and you're trying to shut the door and it's wobbling, you haven't got that consistency when you close it. It needs to be like that, not like that.
And it might be worth cleaning the switch and the seal even if you've got a freestanding one as well.
Stuff like this,
Yeah.
and we're not trying to go off top it, but to have some contact cleaner in your house is a really useful tin of spray in your arsenal. To have just some silicone spray in your house is really useful.
Because you can use that on door seals and everything, can't you?
Door seals, windows, everything. You can get these from Toolstation, Screwfix, Amazon. I don't know what, B&Q probably not, a bit specialist, but they're about £10 a tin and they last forever. Just keep them inside in a fairly warm place so they last longer. Anyway, we'll come back to you when we've got the machine on and see how we go, see if it's fixed our problem for pennies, really.
Okay, so we've sorted the machine out. I'll just show you. We've put, as we were saying last time, we've put some big screws in there. It looks like someone's replaced this appliance before. Big, better screws, tight, reasonably tight, not too tight because it's plastic. We don't want it to crack. And we put a bit of silicone spray, just sort of in there, just dot on the top, you know, so the action is a bit more smoother.
I mean, I'm
long-term.
guessing, I know from experience that these switches fail all the time.
Yeah.
So I was on about getting silicone spray.
Yeah.
Look, just once a month, put a squirt in your dishwasher switch, the bit where
Yeah.
the tab goes into, and just put a little squirt in there.
Yeah.
Right.
The thing is, the reason why we use contact cleaner as well, normally you use this on just electrics, but the thing with contact cleaner is it's a solvent, and it will literally clean a lot of the crud out of them, and there was actually quite a lot of crud as well.
Yeah.
So, but obviously that evaporates and you use the silicone, so.
Right, so
Let's test if the machine works.
so let's get the power on.
So, power on.
Okay.
It's on the previous program.
Yeah. So it might be a little bit confused.
It does actually sound like it closes better as well.
Yeah, it's a click to
Okay.
it.
We'll just wait for that to get going. It should get going in a minute with the water. So you can hear, if you can hear the water filling up. So that's now working.
One thing I would say, by simply popping those 2 screws in as longer screws, because that was basically taking the weight of the dishwasher off the floor.
So yeah, so that those were the screws that were in it.
And it was taking the weight. We did find other screw holes underneath, so at
Yeah,
some
I've
point
just showed that. Yeah.
that's going to be replaced. So if we just recap through, if your dishwasher won't start, what we would do, I'll say it again, we are not domestic appliance repair specialists, it's just life knowledge. You can hear the water running now.
Yeah.
To a point where my wife thought it was going to be a new dishwasher. So
Well, yeah, especially in this economy, you want to save money, don't you?
so what do we do? First of all, we check that the water hadn't been accidentally turned off. Now, the reason I say that is sometimes in these cupboards, like, we're no different from any other family. And look,
All sorts of just stuff. That's water from the tumble dryer.
so things get pushed and they get knocked off. Check that everything's draining, even just remove the grey pipe to make sure it's not blocked. Check the filter in the dishwasher.
Some of these dishwashers do have a float switch as well
Yeah.
to stop them from being overfilled. So that's worth cleaning the float switch, put a bit of silicone on it.
Then check what we've checked, that when it's being put in or when you've put it in, it's level, even if it's a freestanding one, because if it's moving around when you're trying to shut this door, because every time they'll slip and stuff, just check that it's not wobbling around, and if you can try and stop it wobbling around with some other means, a piece of board or something, I guess that would work, but check the legs are all level at the bottom, etc. And check that it's been fitted with the retaining screws if it's integrated and it's not moving. If there's any movement in your dishwasher and it's not working at the front, it's wobbling around, that's probably your problem, that's your clue, to be honest. So you can hear it now, that wasn't working.
Yeah,
And I guess if you'd called somebody out, they might have gone, they might just literally might not have spotted it, no reflection on their professionalism or anything, just might not have spotted those loose screws, and if they hadn't, it would have been the new dishwasher. So it's worth just checking the basics, really. Do you not think, Daniel?
I would check. It's all, sometimes a lot of the problem with these things is always the basic stuff.
But I'm going to say this again.
But hopefully we've included enough in this video to help people with other problems as well.
See, the washing machine and your dishwasher have all got this type of thing.
Yeah, it's just a switch.
Just every so often, a little squirt of that to keep them clean.
Yeah.
And a little squirt of that to keep them running
Yeah.
smooth. So contact cleaner for cleaning.
That'll strip any rubbish. This stuff strips any crap off things. Basically, see that no residue.
Even your tumble dryer. If you look at your tumble dryer, it's the same principle. So they've all got switches on them. Look,
Yeah.
they're all the same. So
You'll get dirty. See,
So look,
yeah.
you can see the dirt in there.
Yeah.
Look. It's just unavoidable. So a little bit of that in there. Leave that there for 5 minutes, and then
Spray a bit of that on there. You
Put
can
a bit
even
on
spray
there,
it
look.
as well.
on there you can see how those seals get dirty as well.
Yeah.
It's wash machine, dishwasher, tumble dryer. This would need it clean, to be honest. Just give it a squirt. Of,
Clean it with a
We do normally.
hot
It's just
soapy water on a rag first.
yeah.
before
So
putting
if
that
you've
on.
got appliances and you want them to last a bit longer, just do that with them. And you always know. So I've just done that, and there's always a nice click to the door.
Yeah,
like when it was new.
there was actually more of a click to this one
Yeah,
as well.
you know, instead of sounding like a, and this is no offence to anyone because I've owned one, instead of when a door shuts on a Reliant Robin, it sounds more like a Mercedes click, quality.
They're like a thud, yeah.
So you know it's better.
Yeah.
Right, anyway, hope this has helped you out a bit, save a bit of money, solve a quick problem, and get your dishes clean. And if it has, we do all sorts of videos for people, primarily trying to help people out really, and because we all get in these situations where you need a little bit of help. We'd appreciate a subscription if you wouldn't mind. It does help us along quite a bit. Thanks for watching.